Bop, 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 bop. Let's go. We're getting into it. We got a Geeks chat with the kid, the young stallion, the Bellator menace, Ciaran Clark. Let's go. 5-0, 27-year-old featherweight, absolute menace coming in. How are you doing?
All's good, lads. Thanks a million. That's some intro there, I tell you.
Appreciate that. I got the boys with me. How you boys doing?
Doing well, ready to get after it.
Good.
You know how it is. I mean, we got a big matchup. We're coming to Dublin. How you feeling coming into this matchup, man?
Feeling good, lads. Yeah, 6 weeks out now today, so just taking away till now, till then. I started, I suppose, camp a long time out because we got word of this fight about 15 weeks out. So just really since then, when I found out, it was just head down and just training since then. So yeah, it's actually flying in. When it was first announced, it was like, I'm just going to drag, but now it's actually flying in. So I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
Yeah, stylistically, how do you see this matchup for you? Do you think this is a good stylistic matchup for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup. Yeah, I think he's a solid kickboxer. He fought a guy that trains with me, Illy's the Blade. He comes back and forth. He's a high level kickboxer, and he was able to stand with him and do really well and took him down. And so I think Illy's was surprised that he actually stood with him. You know, so he's a good lad. I'd say he's a bit of reaching me, a bit of height. So no, I think it's a good fight for me. It's a good challenge, and he's wins over a guy now in the UFC. I'm not sure the guy's name. So I mean, he's good wins, good fights. So looking forward to obviously coming over to Ireland here. It'd be a tough one for him. So I'm looking forward.
Yeah. So we mentioned you're fighting on the Dublin card. You've been there before. What's it like as an Irish fighter going out in front of those Irish fans?
Lads, it's something else. I don't know if you've been before, but it's something that you have to experience. And until you're there, and being a spectator and a fan, and then we used guys do, of course, you get this good seats in the house and see the commotion and the Irish fans. But in my point of view, it's very, very hard to explain. The support they get in the night, and when you're Irish, they really, really get behind you. And yeah, it's unbelievable. It's hard to explain. It could overwhelm you if you let it get to you. It's only in hindsight I really take it in, because on the night it could fairly get to you. But no, I really enjoy it. And again, as I said, it's a lot more pressure and all that, and more eyes, I suppose, when it's local. And but when you get that win, there's no other feeling like it.
Oh yeah. And then
Right.
you're training over there at SBG Ireland. What's that like, training with Ireland's finest, getting the best coaches every day?
It's brilliant, lads, to be honest. And I mean, I mentioned this before. It's when everybody's in the same goal. They have a fight coming up. There's plenty of us on that night, so we're all training together, and we really feel like you're part of a team. You can feel the camaraderie, and we're all getting after. We're all in the same kind of stage of camp, and we're all getting to peaking now, and so it's great buzz about the gym, and I'm loving the training at the minute up in SBG. And John there, John Kavanagh, head coach, and Dave Roach, another coach, went up there. So I mean, they're overseeing everything every day, running the sessions, and yeah, loving it, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to, I suppose, showing the improvements on the night. It's February since the last one, so I mean, since the last one till now, I've just been getting better and loving training, really. Even when I come home now, I normally like to switch off, depending on your mood. You want to switch off and but now I'm actually coming home and I'm watching fights and slowing them down, I'm screen recording them, I'm dissecting fights. And I when I'm in that mindset, it's good, because, I feel that I'm buzzing for it, to go away. Whereas sometimes you have a fight coming up, you want to switch off, you do your training, you leave your training in the gym, you switch off me, so whereas now this time I'm really like, I suppose, obsessed with just getting better even, and so I'm buzzing for it.
I had a question about the legendary coach John Kavanagh. I was gonna say, what do you think is the most important thing that you've taken from him as a fighter?
That I've taken from John? Well, to be honest, I'm with John now about 7 years now. So I mean, the biggest thing I took from him when I'm with John would be that when he gives his advice, or when he coaches, it's gospel to me, and I mean, everybody can say that, you know, and they can say, well, of course, he's your coach, you're going to trust him. But, like, I really do mean that, you know, when I'm in the corner, when I come onto that stool or, you know, in between fights, like, I think you have to have that relationship, you know, and I have that with John. And another thing about John, you know, he's not, maybe it's just with me, but he's not breathing down my neck. He knows I'm doing a certain sessions, you know, I'm there every day, you know, so I'm getting the time in with him. To spars, he's giving me advice what I should be working on, and you know, so I mean, it's great. And the main thing I learned with him, you know, I suppose his style, you know, it's kind of like nearly warped into me, if that makes sense. You know, obviously, I mean, but you know, you can look at Conor and say, well, you know, his style, you know, on the stand up, I suppose, but definitely I would say John's teaching and John's coaching is definitely, you know, he kind of laugh, you know, before we're going out to fights, he's like, you're going out there to give people a free seminar, you know what I mean? Like, when they watch this back, you know what I mean? You're giving them a free seminar type thing. So, yeah, I mean, the training's always high level with John. And again, you can come onto the mat and have confidence knowing you ask him any question, you know, you're going to take it for gospel, you know?
Yeah, and one of the things that jumps right off the page when you're looking through, you know, all your stats and all your past things is you made your pro debut in Bellator, you know, and you have this extensive amateur, you know, career. So it's like a lot of times people will say like, oh, you know, going straight into Bellator is a big jump. But I mean, you're seasoned already. You were ready. You're fighting at a high level in the amateur scene. When did you join SBG? I see it's like you made your amateur debut in 2012. So it's like you've been doing this since you were about like 16, I'm guessing. So it's
Yeah,
like,
literally, yeah. Yeah.
was this all start with SBG the whole way?
No, so I started in 2011, and this was obviously before uh, Conor, you know, was who he was, and I don't even think he was case warriors champ at the time. But my coach at the time, the first gym I started was his name was Conor Dillon, and he was only 23 at the time. But back then it was like there wasn't many gyms around, but especially where I was, it was only himself really doing that, and I think he was traveling like down the 3-4 hours down the country to, you know, it was kind of like that. And I know it's only 10, 12 years ago, whatever, but it was like that then, you know. And he actually fought Conor back in 2010, the year before I joined. So I kind of knew about Conor then, before the fame and everything else. So I was kind of following him since that. But anyway, I stayed there with Conor Dillon for 4 years, myself and my brother. And then we had a couple of amateur fights there. My brother actually fought for an amateur title, and we were doing well. And then we were kind of the only guys that were like, knew that we wanted to take this, further. And I certainly knew I wanted to go pro, and as a career. So my brother turned 18, come out of school, and the two of us started to say, look, where do we think we're going to go in Ireland, and where's the best place to be? And obviously, numerous UFC fighters were in SBG, and it was a no-brainer. So we started to do our route, where we're going to go and how we're going to get the money together to, make these trips up. And, so I started working part-time the weekends and getting money together. So then we said, right, we're going to start traveling up and down to Dublin. And it was an hour and a half trip, 2 hour trip all around, getting buses, trams, the training, walking, and rain, hail, or snow. We made the trips up, and I mean, it worked out straight away. I think we were there a month, and John invited us to the pro team, and ever since that, then kept the fights coming. And as you said, this has been my 30th MMA fight now in September. So been around the block. So had me fair amount of amateur fights and fought internationally all around the world, Vegas, Bahrain, all around Europe, you name it. So, as you mentioned, fighting in Bellator, first fight, I suppose on paper I would look, pro debut Bellator, but for me it was like, no, it felt right. Do you know the way?
Oh yeah. You mentioned you were fighting before Conor was even Cage Warriors champ. You're an Irish OG in that sense. What was it like seeing that boom in the Irish fighting scene that Conor brought on?
It was unbelievable, to be honest. It was, from coming from Little Ireland, and like, obviously over where you are in the States, it's that's where it's at and where we want to be getting to. And, it's, when you're seeing Conor coming through, it's giving that little bit of hope. And, he broke down so many barriers, you know what I mean? And he is obviously why where the sport is today. He's the only person in the UFC that has ever, or in the sport, that has ever gotten bigger than the company, than the UFC, if that makes sense. So he's bigger than the sport, So, but to see that coming up, I remember it'd be like going to like shows that I'd be fighting at the second or third amateur fight, and he'd be there, and he would be like, going for his Cage Warriors world title. And back then, like, a Cage Warriors world title was like, it was unbelievable. And then to think he was in a chance to go in the UFC, and then when I seen him fight Marcus Brimage, I remember all my friends were at a concert or something, enjoying themselves. I don't know what age I was, and I was sitting at home buzzing here ready to watch the fights myself, my brother, and I seen him fight Marcus Brimage, make the UFC debut in Sweden. And his movement was something I'd never seen before, ever in the sport. And I was like, that day I said he will beat Aldo. And sure, nobody knew that he would, but I just seen something in his, I'm not sitting here like saying I'm a Mystic Mac like him around, but I just seen the way he's moving, his confidence, his aura, the momentum behind him. It was just something different. And lo and behold, he turned into what he did, but never expected would he be that, fighting Floyd Mayweather and where he's gotten to now. But my God, it was some buzz about the country at the time,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're blowing up. You got yourself on the Lewis, I saw that on your Instagram,
Yeah, yeah.
How was that,
Um,
seeing yourself up there?
oh, that's mental. Like, I mean, obviously you strive to get to where you are with Bellator and to keep going forward in the sport, but you never imagine that you'd be on the side of a Lewis. And to be honest, even better, I used to get that exact Lewis to train in the red line. So I'd be on that every day slogging it, people right up in your face, squashed into it. And, you'd be thinking, oh, I can't wait to start driving. Please, God, this will pay off. All these things in through your head and dodging the boys, not even paying, you know what I mean? All this crack, struggling. And next to later, there I am on the side of it. That was surreal for me, That was like, that was a big thing for me. That kind of took me back a little bit. I was like, this is mental,
Oh yeah. And so you're 27 now. You already have more than a decade in this fight game. What was it like getting into a cage fight at 16 years old?
I give him experience. So, it was I was only training maybe by the time I had my first fight, it was nearly a year training. But yeah, so I mean, everybody Irish growing up, they dab in a bit of boxing here and there, and it's kind of the thing, you know what I mean? You is what we done anyway. Where I'm from, everybody kind of gets into it a little bit. But I mean, I had me hard spars and stuff, but I never actually competed in boxing. Something I would have loved to stick at. But anyway, so I did a bit of that, and kind of had that little bit of that behind me. But I'd never say I'm a boxer or I came in as a boxer. It's nothing like that. I did a few months at a time thing. But so I came in fresh, MMA just started, and I kept going and loved it. You know what I mean? And yeah, basically just kept training. And the coach at the time said, "Look, I think he knew my intentions was to fight." And he said, "Look, I think you're ready for a fight." And then it was, in school at the time, I wasn't getting on good, and that's another story. But next one later, here's me up at 7 in the morning, running in the morning, and can't even get up for school. But here I am running in the morning, So it was a big change, and really going for this fight. And 16 years old, my hometown, had my first amateur fight. First few seconds, throw a few combinations. The guy picks me up, slams me in my head, puts me out cold, back of the head, bang, like slammed me in my head. I was out cold for that long. He mounted me and trying to armbar me. The ref doesn't even realise. I was out for that long. I was only 16, all in front of all my friends and family. And it's a big thing that age, and fighting in the cage back then. And I remember when I come back to my senses, then it was like, when's the next one? I can't wait to do this again. It wasn't like a moment like I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life type thing, or I want to pursue this as a career. But it was like the whole experience of it, the nerves, getting in there, the buzz of it, it was I was hooked basically, and ever since that, just kept training, kept fighting, competing, and yeah, then I suppose it grew me then and saying, look, maybe there's a career in this, and it was the only thing I could ever focus on and never could see myself doing. In school, I never could concentrate or never had ambitions to be anything, I suppose I was lost in that way, So who knows what they want to do at that age anyway, you just want to be, acting the maggot, I suppose, as we say. But And here I am now doing this, and I could concentrate and love it. You know what I mean? I'm coming home, watching things, just obsessed with fighting. And myself and my brother together, you know, it brought us closer as brothers. And so I owe the sport a lot in that sense. So that was my first experience with it, you know, 10 plus years ago now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know that Artem Lobov has been in there, you know. Any stories with him? Is he crazy, or is he like a nice chill guy in the gym? I feel like he throws crazy like haymakers, starts some scraps. Like that guy's just
Artem's do you know what? Artem's one of the good guys. He's when you get to know Artem, he's a gent, and you know what? He'd do anything for you. You know, if Artem takes a liking to you and he sees you're genuine, he'll do anything for you, you know. And Artem's been very good to me, and I enjoy training with Artem. But yeah, don't get me wrong, like there's different. You can feel different power, you know. I've felt power before, and it's like, you know, snappy power, you know, they're fast, but Artem literally has like concrete in his hands. Like he could just tip you and you can feel it, you know the way. So he's those type of hands, you know, as we know from watching his fights. But yeah, Artem, he's a character. Have you seen on the Ultimate Fighter? He's got to see a bit of him. He's a character, you know. But as I said, deep down, he's a good guy, and he'd do anything for you, you know.
I was gonna say definitely the type of guy I would want with me in a bar fight or something like that. But I was gonna say, but I was gonna talk about tough. Yeah, watching that was crazy. How Conor decided they could bring one person back from the fights at the beginning, brings them back and just knocks 3 people out in a row. It was ridiculous. That was so fun to watch.
It was unreal. It was unreal, and I think he lost. Yeah, he lost the fight to get in.
Yeah, I mean Ryan Hall just backpacked them the whole time.
Yeah,
got the body triangle and just was there for 15 minutes. It was like, oh man.
I trained with Ryan as well. Ryan was actually over with us training for the finale before even I think they knew. It was something around the lines that they didn't know they were going to fight each other or something. And he was over training with us. And I've trained with Ryan, and he's sicko. If he gets that back, it's done. And like this is a few years ago now as well. And like I was impressed that like when he got to the back, it's his best position. It's basically like putting, you know, it's basically putting Ryan in front of Artem to stand with him, you know, and Artem survived. He survived the leg submission, so he did very well, but obviously didn't get the win. But that was it was an unfortunate one, obviously, to get that matchup. But yeah, I mean that tough was probably one of the best ones. It was a great crack between Favor and Conor as well, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, another question I've got for you is, I mean, as a kid, 27, you're 5-0 Bellator, you got all these fights, 30 pro fights. Is your goal to be on the biggest stage in the UFC like Conor was and break the barriers and do all this crazy stuff? Or are you content with just wrecking people in any league and just getting paid, you know, your value?
I know what you mean. It's a question I'm getting asked a lot now. Obviously, you know, I'm doing well now, 5-0, and please God now 6-0 now in September. And the only thing I know is going forward now with Bellator, I have another year's contract with them. So, and I have a big test in front of me now in September. So, to be honest, I'm not looking too far ahead. And I learned that in the amateurs because when I be doing the World Championships, Europeans at the IMAFs, you're fighting every day. You know, so if I look at the medal or look at the gold medal, I'm forgetting what's before it, which is 5 tough lads, you know. So I'm not looking too far ahead. I'm just focusing what's in front of me now at the minute. And I have another year at Bellator. They're treating me great, and I'm enjoying it. You know, I get to fight in the platform. They come to Ireland, you know, so it's great. But so I suppose I'm just, you know, focusing what's ahead of me, you know. So I can't really, you know, say, 5 years time I want to be here, or you know, because I don't know, you know, the way we're in the sport, you're only as good as your last fight, you know. So I have to stay focused for this one. And I know it's just a question, but I don't even like answering it, you know. It's just I like focusing on what's in front of me, you know. Beat the man they put in front of me.
Respect. Yeah, so you mentioned this fighting journey's taking you to places like Vegas, Bahrain. I saw you fought on the Paris card with Bellator. Outside of Ireland, what's been your favorite spot to go fight?
To be honest, they all have, as you know, you've all been on holidays and show vacations, as you used to call it, and each spot has a different, you know, buzz to it and different atmosphere, and you know, you can't really say a favorite, but don't get me wrong, the goal would be definitely to fight over in the States. You know, it's where it's at. You know, it's where it originated, I suppose, and that's definitely a goal of mine, to get over there and to fight there. But anywhere at this stage, outside of Ireland. I love it, but I would love another one internationally now somewhere, or even in Europe, and just to just to get back fighting internationally in that there now again. But I loved it in Vegas when we went that time for the World Championships. That was brilliant. I mean, it was my first experience of America. I've only been twice, and that was I mean, no better place to suppose than Vegas. I was there for 13 days and competing over there. But yeah, for me, it'd be just to get somewhere out abroad now. I'd love to, if Bellator maybe came to somewhere else in Europe, or if they did get me over to the States, that'd be brilliant. That'd be definitely the goal.
Yeah, get to Florida, man. We'll have the Geeks pop
Ah,
out there.
Man,
Help
I've
you
been
sell
to
some
Florida.
tickets.
Florida, man. I've been to Florida in 2018, and that's my favorite holiday now. I love Florida, so that would be a dream. That'd be
Yeah,
a
bro.
dream.
We'll take you out on the boat, give you the whole
Ah,
Florida experience, brother.
come here. I love it. Love it.
All right, well, bro. I mean, we always ask this question to everybody before we get them out of here. If you have a spectacular finish that you get to draw it up, you get to play it. What is it? What is it? Is it like a 3-second uppercut, or like what's like your spectacular finish?
I suppose it'd be 1 or 2 rounds of maybe not. I don't want to say back and forth. It'd be but I suppose everybody would say a Joe Masvidal big knee or something. But for me, it'd probably be the fight where it's close enough on the feet, and bang, drop him with a shot. He drops, and not just a clean KO, but drop him and maybe get to the back, put him out cold. That'd be something. Like, I don't know if you've seen the UFC recently with the flyweights. I forget which flyweights. The Danger. I think his name's Danger Mouse or something. I forget him, but that fight was like back and forth. They'd be dropping each other, and then he got him. I think he got taken down or got him in a triangle choke, put the guy to sleep. It was something around them lines. I don't want it too easy. It sounds mad, but
I
something
get what
around
you're
that
saying.
line,
You just want to show that like savageness, and then just freaking
yes.
lights out. Like
Yeah. Mic drop. You know what I mean? Something like this.
like you're talking. The Matt Schnell fight where he was just going back and forth, dropped a couple times, and then
class.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Something that gets the meme with the pit bull and the X-ray.
I love it.
He's got the dog in him.
Yes. Love it.
You boys got anything?
I'm good.
No. I wanted to ask Ciaran, do you have anything you want to plug, or anyone you want to shout out before we head out of here?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to all my sponsors, of course. It's too many here to mention. My friends, my family, my girlfriend, of course, all that for the sport coming up. And big shout out to me friend Jamie Sherry from Manifest Media. He's stay tuned, lads. Actually, it's actually a documentary coming out soon. He's following me around and doing a documentary. So it's coming out now in December. So that'll be it'd be good. It'd be good. I think it'll show a different side to me, and I'm buzzing for it. Yeah.
Let's go. All right, a docu-series. Let's get it.
Love it. Nice one, boys.
The man melting the boys in Bellator. He's looking to get to 6-0 soon. He's fighting in Dublin. Don't miss it. That's Ciaran Clark. We're the Geeks. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go. Geeks.
Let's go, boys.